Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are. This is Abdullah coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Hope you are doing well. I thought we have some important news to share, important story to talk about it, and some historical facts. Perhaps you don't know or you haven't had any interest on it, or maybe you will find some interest to see that sometimes the media, not sometimes, most of the time media does the news in a way that can give you an idea or make you think that they are telling the truth or they are not biased. Through history, since I can remember or if I may correct myself, say, since I've been following politics or being involved in politics or fighting and crusading for the justice of men, humanity, I have done that most of my life. I think I have done that since I was 13 years old. I have fight against injustice to individuals or masses. As you are all familiar about the Kurdish fighters, PKK, YPG, that's an off-branch of Marx and Engels and Lenin, a communist party. It's a pure communist organization, and their doctrine is communism. Although they are a little bit more than a communist. I have always, since first time I ever heard in the early 80s or late beginning of the 1970s, PKK and YPG and Abdullah Ocalan. We all remember Syrian President Hafiz Assad, that butcher in Syria, father of the current president. And I will just attach one small thing. When people are so unfortunate that 25 million people are illiterate and one man can read the alphabet out loud and possibly in a fashion of the second or third grade, that was Hafiz Assad. And also, when he's born naturally to be arrogant and heartless and spineless or brainless, that's Hafiz al-Assad. And his son is no better. In fact, his son has proven, now the current president in Syria, that he's worse than his father. Now, I like to go back in Mesopotamia. Remember, folks, Iraq was not called Iraq before the European powers coming in England to save the Middle East from Ottoman Empire. From 500 living in peace, UK and France and Italy and Spain and all the northwestern world wanted to save Arabs from Ottoman Empire, and they have lived for 500 years in peace. There was no war. There was now and then demonstration, just like we have a demonstration in Seattle or Chicago or New York or something like that. People get pissed off on something, so they got to take it off on the street. Although they were full citizens of Ottoman Empire and their provinces and their vilayets, cities and counties. They were taxpayers like everybody else. They were not colonies. They were Ottoman Empire. Remember, no one was better off than Istanbul or Mecca and Medina or Baghdad or Cairo or Tehran or any places, or around the Black Sea, Odessa and all those places. And now the former Bessarabia, which probably none of you have heard, it's Moldova these days. It's called Moldova, next to Bulgaria. All the way up to Vienna, Southern Europe, Balkans, were under 536 years under the Ottoman Empire. And there was peace all the way to World War I. Until Saudi Arabia family, which is today Jordan, King Hussein Jordan's, King Hussein grandfather, great-grandfather, decided to enhance his empire in Mecca and Medina. And end of the day, the British and French then keep their word. What they did, they colonized all of Mesopotamia and all the North African continent. I mean everything, including Iran, including Afghanistan, including India, including Pakistan, including Kashmir, including Himalaya, all Arabian Peninsula, Sudan, Libya, I mean North Africa, half of Africa continent, 3/4 of Africa continent was dominated right away and was stripped of the rights. Citizens become second-class citizens. They were not even considered citizens. They were considered subjects, are queen's subjects. So you tell me, they were better off under the Ottoman Empire as a part of Ottoman Empire, or as subjects and as slaves of the Queen Victoria? Well, I will not wait for your answer. I will just let you decide. Although, if we come back on a real move back again to the point on a stop sign of a Kurds, and we are asking on our program, we have named it, who is this PKK and YPG, and who is this Ocalan, the leader? Ocalan, Abdullah Ocalan, who is he, and who really supported him, and who really created him? Well, let's not go any farther than Syria and Greece, and then we can go to the UK and France, and then we can come here at home at the US. Let's not forget, folks, one thing, that Kurds are nomadic people, strictly nomadic people, just like gypsies or a Hans or a Mongolians or most of the tribes in Africa, even these days, or a lot of tribes in Saudi Arabia these days, and through Libya, and through Chad, and through Yemen, and through Sudan, and Mongolia these days. They are tribal people. They move every day as a tribes. Some places they are 5-6 people. Some places and some tribes they are 1,000, and some places and some tribes they are hundreds of thousands. And they never stay in one place. Kurds are exactly the same. Gypsies are exactly the same. Romos and Gypsies, they are two classified groups, although some people classify them as a one, they call them Romos. Well, Romos are a little more stable and solid. They don't move too much. Gypsies, no. They move through the seasons, through the times, from town to town, to province, to country, to state. They have done that since Cyrus the Great invaded Europe when they come from India. Now, some of you will say like this, oh my God, I didn't know they were from India. Okay. As we say, our Indo-European language and our Indo-European Romos and Gypsies. They come in with the Cyrus the Great army through the Turkish peninsula, settle in Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, Bessarabia, which is today Moldova, and Kurds are part of those people. Kurds are not indigenous people to any land, even the land they call Kurdistan today. Kurds are, just as I said, nomadic people. They move with their herds, with their horses, with their cattle, with their goats to graze and to live. And they were not house builders or farm builders or ranchers or anything. They were practically Stone Age people till Ottoman Empire become a state. And they have to settle down. They made him forcefully to settle down. And they cover the Mesopotamia and that area of Iran and Mesopotamia, today Iraq and Syria, eastern North Syria and Turkey. Right off the Euphrates River. The both rivers are coming from Turkey. By the way, one that they go, Tigris and Euphrates, they go through Iraq all the way down to the Persian Gulf. So, who is this guy? After 4,000 to 5,000 years, he decided to carve a Turkey. The land that history remember back as one piece of land, peninsula, never divided, but there were 9 states inside even 4,000 years ago. Under different names. Then the Constantinople come in there and had a little chunk over there on a channel connecting the part of going to Mediterranean, going to the Black Sea, which we call today East Asian continent and Asian part of Turkey and the European part of the Turkey. What I'm trying to say, folks, we can complain and we can talk about it and we can say that, okay, that the Kurds are fighting and they are fighters and they this guy this general who brags about it on the TV that he's the one who cut this murder, this ISIS murder on U.S. forces, our brave soldiers, special forces kill him. Thank God they did. Although that would change nothing on the ground. ISIS will still be there and their ideology will be there for a long time to come. And to have one more group, radical as ISIS, and that's PKK and YPG, Kurds, and hundreds of thousands as a regular army and especially, highly trained. I wouldn't want to have him on my border of San Diego or Texas or New Mexico or Arizona. And I don't believe that England and France would want to have him on their border, or Spain, or Italy, or Greece, or any of these countries. I know there are so many separatist groups like a Basque terrorists in Spain. It's almost like a village. But they wanted their own country and they don't think they will have no chance living decently because they are so small and there is no way to have a decent life or be able to provide for your citizens. Same thing as a Catalonia right now, Catalan independence, or Irish independence to be totally independent from Ireland and from England. Even the Scotland would have a hard time leaving good alone. Even Brittany and France, if it separates from France, Brittany and France and the French mainland off of the British Channel. I don't know, many of you don't know. There is a place called in France, Brittany. Monte Carlo, tourist place. Although has a king and everything, but it's a part of France. And everything that happened, French government does it. Head of the state of the French government does it. They are protecting, they are guiding, they are watching, they are taking caretaker of. What this reminds me, folks, seems like every time some idiot and a creep come around, like this guy from Abdullah Ocalan from PKK, a Kurdish guy, he decided he wants a state. So he thought the best place is to start because the most of the Europe, even in the 70s and 80s and the 90s, and here now in 21st century and 2018 and 19, allies, European and the Western world still think that Turkey doesn't deserve the sovereignty, and Turkey, they still have a sword on their ass because Turkey beat them hands down during the independence. And a leader of the Turkish independence then was no other than Kemal Atatürk. I'm not trying to crusade for Turkey here. I'm not Turkish, neither I'm Kurdish, neither am I'm Arab. I'm an American citizen and I love my country. I just think we are supporting wrong people. And I think we are allying with the wrong people, and we are embarrassing ourselves. These people are nothing but bunch of terrorists, and these people are nothing but bunch of murder. And this guy, Abdullah Ocalan, he's responsible for almost 50,000 dead people. And he still has a nice bed, 3 meals a day, a television, and a newspaper, and a chess and a deck of chessboard and a deck of cards that he can sit and relax in his freaking jail, and it's all for free. I mean, how can you beat that? And he's a bum. He was bum before he became leader of Kurdish people, and he's a bum now. Half his Syrian government made him where he is, and there it is today. Our government, my government, United States of America, our military leaders, and our politicians in Senate and Congress, whatever agenda they have, political agenda. We want to fight ISIS in Syria, Islamic State, and we allied with another terrorist group no less dangerous than ISIL. No less danger, maybe more than ISIL. And that is unacceptable. That is embarrassing, and that is dangerous. Through history, from the World War I and World War II, all the way till today, the Kurdish people have committed genocide on Armenian people, have committed genocide on the Sunni Muslims, have committed genocide on the Yazidis, have committed genocide on Turk Arabs, have committed genocide on everybody and anybody they could, and they have allied with anybody who have given them a chance to carve the state from any country in that area. Was that Mesopotamia then, today Iraq? Was that Iran during the revolution, before the revolution in Iran, right after World War II and 47 and 58 and 49, when and 48, when we overthrow a prime minister of Iran and installed the Shah of Iran? And then we want to help them now to carve the state from the Turkey. Well, here is my advice for Turkey. If you don't get rid of these terrorist groups, PKK and YPG, and disarm them, if you don't totally disarm these people in Iraq and in Syria and in your country, you're going to regret it 20 years from now or down 25 years from now. Because these terrorists are going nowhere if you don't send him to 6 feet under the ground or disarm him one way or the other. And you're going to lose the quota of your country. And then there will be no more Turkey. So it's better to fight him today than tomorrow. Tomorrow they will be more educated, more bold, more armed, more trained, and in more numbers. Today they are maybe 100,000, and tomorrow they will be 250,000. And I think you should, as Turkey, as a Turkish politicians, Turkish ministers, Turkish president, Turkish defense forces, you should think of this. As they say, don't fight a fire when the wind is blowing 80 miles an hour. You should fight a fire when it starts, so you can have under control. And I advise you to fight a fire with fire. Here is in Yugoslavia, former Yugoslavia. The country was put together and held forcefully. And everybody wanted the peace. Everybody wanted to tear it apart. And they did. Although Turkey is totally different. Turkey was always Turkey. Even they had those so-called states inside with so many different little provincial names. 8 or 9. One was Lydia, one was, I don't even know. But it was never a broken peninsula that doesn't belong together. So when the idea comes suddenly that Kurdish people has the right to carve part of the Turkey, okay, Mesopotamia wasn't state. They come from Iran and they come from India with the Cyrus the Great. They live in Mesopotamia for 5,000 years. They didn't live in Turkey. They come in Turkey in the last 100 years, 150 years. And now they want to carve the Turkey. Like Serbs said, they've been in Kosovo for thousands of years. They never been in a freaking Kosovo for thousands of years. If they were in Kosovo for thousands of years, there will be not a single Albanian people over there. No, there were 100,000 Serbian people for last those thousands of years. And they had one church over there, 2 churches over there. Distorting history is one thing, and telling the truth of history is another. I am just saying that we United States of America, we are embarrassing ourselves by allying with this bunch of murderers and terrorists, and bringing this so-called general here, a self-proclaimed general here in the United States to visit, and probably paying his ticket and his cronies, his gangs, to come in and maybe enjoying themselves in the White House and all that, just because they squeal on that Abu Bagran, whatever his name is, that we just eliminated, ISIL's leader, terrorist. I don't approve this. I really don't. I don't approve this visit from any Kurdish group, leader of the group. What I would approve, total disarmament of this group and arrest of all these leaders till they declare loud and clear that they will have no more. They will abandon idea to do any terrorism in Turkey, and they can go over there in that Turkestan they have now, that part of northern Iraq, northeastern Iraq. They can go over there. There's plenty of land over there. They got plenty of oil, and till that oil run, they will eat okay. After that, I don't know how they will make a living. But there is nothing else over there but bunch of oil and natural gas. For how long? That's a good question. Although they have no right over there to carve the turkey. Turkey should do everything. And like I said, better fighting today than tomorrow. And we are embarrassing our forces, and we are degrading our characters and our moral foundation by allying with these people and calling them allies and friends. They are not our friends, neither are our allies. They are a bunch of freaking terrorists. And in that note, I will close this program and thank you for sharing your time with me. And I shall see you, I think, sooner than later. And that's mean on tomorrow or next day. I love this country, and you should do too.